When people talk about investing, the first name that comes to mind is Warren Buffett. When Warren Buffett himself talks about investing, the first name that comes to his mind is that of his lifelong partner, Charlie Munger. Munger and Buffett met in 1959 during a lunch party organized by a common acquaintance. At the time, the two men were running their separate investment practices, and given their common interests, they decided to have a tete-a-tete. We went to dinner, and in 5 minutes, Charlie was rolling on the floor laughing at his own jokes. And I do the same thing, Buffett said. We knew we were sort of made for each other. 19 years of friendship later, Munger joined Buffett as the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. Together, they turned Buffett's company into the greatest compound interest machine out there, growing its value 20,000-fold. When asked about the secret behind his tremendous success, Munger's response is often the same. I'm rational. Below you'll find 4 rationality gems and how to apply them to your career. Take a simple idea, then take it seriously. It was winter 2018 and my birthday was a few weeks away. I decided to throw a party where I wouldn't invite my friends. Instead, I sent email invitations to popular figures who inspired me. We're talking CEOs, actors, and authors worth millions of dollars. Brain coach and best-selling author Jim Quick was one of them, and his personal assistant responded to my email. She forwarded the invitation to Jim's personal address and wished me happy birthday. How cute. Later that day, I told my best friend, and she frowned before firing back a question I'll never forget. Suppose Jim actually shows up, she said. What will you tell him? At the time, I just started to carve out my entrepreneurial journey based on grandiose ideas. I wanted to gamify self-improvement through an app, run consulting services, develop thinking tools based on my engineering skills, and why not do some public speaking? Yeah, my friend said. But what are you trying to accomplish? What exactly is the big idea? The truth is I had none. I scattered my focus across a bunch of sexy ideas and haven't pursued any of them. Not seriously. But 2 years later, I found writing, and every single business idea I had before shrunk into nothingness. I published an article, then another and another, until one day I found myself sitting in front of my boss telling him I wanted to quit. I decided to take the simple idea of writing and take it seriously. Many entrepreneurs spend years chasing fancy ideas only to find themselves stuck in endless circles. The reality is that if you need more than one sentence to describe your business, what you have isn't a business. Follow Munger's wisdom. Think small, act big. I want to know where I would die so I can never go there. In project management, there's a peculiar decision-making technique leaders perform when they're about to make a big move. It's called the premortem analysis, and it's the hypothetical opposite of a postmortem. Wait, what's a postmortem anyway? If you ask crime movie fans, they'll tell you a postmortem, Latin for after death, refers to doctors dissecting a diseased person to determine the cause of death. Reversely, a premortem, Latin for before death, is to imagine potential causes of death before the victim is even born. This is possible in the context of decision-making because the said victim is an idea. Good premortems identify major risks and causes of failure. They allow the project team to anticipate and adjust their plans if needed. It's like Munger said, know where you die so you can never go there. Great stuff in a bill, but how do I perform a premortem? Suppose you're about to start a new business or lock a significant decision. Call out a meeting with your co-founders, friends, or mentors and bring blank sheets of paper and a few pens. Then tell them the following. We're 1 year in the future. The project/decision turned out to be a complete disaster. Describe what went wrong in a short paragraph. You'll be surprised how many pitfalls people will unearth. From there, you can adjust your trajectory to sidestep potential dangers. I try to get rid of people who always confidently answer questions about which they don't have any real knowledge. One of the cheekiest paradoxes out there is the one about knowledge. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. In fancier words, as our circle of knowledge expands, so does the circumference of darkness surrounding it. Bloody Einstein is as good with words as he is with numbers. Anyway, back to Munger. His quote correlates with the paradox of knowledge as it suggests that know-it-all types are actually ignorant. This is, for instance, why top recruiters ask at least one impossible question during interviews. They want to see if the candidate is smart enough to admit they don't know the answer. Okay, but what does this mean for you as an entrepreneur? You want to look for business partners and employees who know the limit of their knowledge. Research has shown that intellectual humility correlates with better decision-making, and better decision-making means better everything. Also, hey, the same applies to the authors you read, the podcasts you listen to, and the gurus you follow online. One of my former colleagues used to say that an empty bottle makes more noise than a filled one. Just because you like it does not mean that the world will necessarily give it to you. This is basically Munger calling out the law of attraction bullshit. Since the man is keen on scientific thinking, we'll use physics to explain his point. The law of attraction states that like attracts like, except physics firmly rejects this proposition since objects with alike electromagnetic energies repel each other. You can try this at home with two magnets. North poles will push each other away and so will south poles, but opposites will instantly smash into each other. What about gravity, you might ask? Can I attract stuff like a fancy corner office and a Tesla through my thoughts? If it was the case, you'd have cars, furniture, and kitchen knives revolving around you, like the moon revolving around the Earth. Gravity has visible effects only when the involved mass is heavy enough to distort space-time itself. The remaining two forces that govern our universe are the strong and weak interactions. They operate in the subatomic levels and their effects become completely negligible as soon as you zoom out a bit. They can't even move a fraction of one of your hairs, let alone create miracles. The science is clear. The world won't give you what you want through some magic phenomena, but won't stop you from trying to get it either. To get what you want, you have to deserve what you want, Munger said. The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people. Let's wrap this up. People who think Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's sidekick don't know the man well enough. Munger is an independent thinker recognized for his analytical skills and his unique, multidisciplinary way of thinking. Charlie marches to the beat of his own music, Buffett said, and it's music like virtually no one else is listening to. Here are 4 notes you can steal for your own business song. 1. Go for a simple idea, but go hard for it. 2. Find what could kill your business and stay away from it. 3. Ditch people who have an answer to every single question. 4. The law of attraction is bullshit. If you want something, you must deserve it, and you deserve things by working hard for them.